Well, let's get more now from Giorgio Cafiero, who is the CEO at Gulf State Analytics. He joins us now from Washington, D.C. Thank you for your time. This seems like a little bit rubbing salt in the wound of the Palestinians, Trump Heights and the occupied Golan Heights. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's clear that there is really an extremely close relationship between Trump and Netanyahu, who have both worked to try to make the U.S.-Israel alliance airtight. No doubt, Trump has taken a number of moves in the region, especially pulling the U.S. out of the Iranian nuclear deal that served Netanyahu's interests very much. Now, I think Netanyahu also knows Trump very well, and he knows that these kinds of gestures sit very well with the American president. And at a time in which so many major corruption issues hang over Netanyahu, I think he's very keen to take steps, even if they are very symbolic, that remind the Israeli voters and the Israeli public that he has done so much to strengthen his country's relationship with the U.S. administration.
Let's talk about that voters. What do you make of the timing, given the elections coming up and Netanyahu's inability to form a government?
Well, when you talk about elections, we're not only looking at the situation in Israel, but also in the United States. You know, next year is 2020. Trump wants to secure a second term. Him being able to tell American voters, especially those from the right-wing evangelical communities, that he has made the U.S. even closer to the state of Israel than any past administration, that's going to play out in U.S. domestic politics. And Trump, more so than any of his predecessors, takes domestic politics into account when making major decisions on the international stage. Meanwhile,
we have Jared Kushner, of course, talking about his upcoming peace plan, that we should expect something very impressive. What do you think a gesture like this does to that efforts for a peace plan?
Well, again, like other issues, this really underscores the extent to which the Trump administration and Israel's current government see eye to eye. They're extremely aligned on these issues. Now, whether or not this is a serious plan, which it's not, is an entirely different discussion, but there's certainly a lot to take away from the fact that this is what the administration seems to support. There's also a lot to take away from the fact that it seems to reflect the vision of certain Gulf states with respect to the conflict between the Palestinians and Israelis, and how some of these governments believe the conflict should be resolved. But again, it's really a non-starter, and no one can really be very serious when he or she claims that it can possibly lead to a resolution of this conflict.
Thank you for that. That's Giorgio Cafiero, the CEO at Gulf State Analytics. Thank you.